And in each and every home, they began performing Sankirtan regularly. Ghare ghare, ghare ghare, each and every home, right?
Hare Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan.
All the devotees sang this popular song along with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan.
Mridanga Karatal Sankirtan Mahadhani Hari Hari Dhani Bina Anna Nahi Shuni.
When the Sankirtan movement thus started, no one in Navadvip could hear any sound other than the words Hari Hari and the beating of the mridanga and clashing of handbells. Report. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness now has its world center in Navadvip, Mayapur. The managers of this center should see that 24 hours a day, there's chanting of the holy names of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, with the addition of Hare Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. For this song was a favorite of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's. But all such Sankirtan must be preceded by the chanting of the holy names of the 5 tattvas. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. We are already accustomed to chant these 2 mantras, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, and Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, after these, the other 2 lines, namely, Hare Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha, Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan, should be added, especially in Mayapur. Chanting of these 6 lines should go on so perfectly well that no one hears any vibration other than the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. That will make the center spiritually all perfect. Om Agyana Timirantasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Shayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Shapandantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Before speaking, I'd like to ask deep blessings and permission from all the devotees, but particularly those who are senior by age or advancement in Krishna consciousness. Thank you so much. So we did these last few verses. The first one, we were finishing off the pastime of Lord Chaitanya was, in a sense, reenacting the pastime of Lord Balaram using his plow to bring the Jamuna River there. So we can understand from this, although it said, Brajendra Nandana J, Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se, Balaram Hoilo Nitai, the son of the son of Brajendraనంద, Krishna. He has appeared as the son of Sachi, and Lord Balaram has appeared as Nitai. But here, Lord Chaitanya is exhibiting his form as Balaram. So we can understand that Lord Chaitanya as Krishna is the source of all incarnations, all expansions. He is not an expansion himself, but even the first expansion of the Lord Balaram, is also manifest from him. It's a little difficult for us people in the material concept of life to understand. You know, we can't expand ourselves. I don't think so. Nobody here can. But Lord Krishna has this potency that he can make duplicates of himself hundreds of times. In the material world, they have this concept of cloning. You know about cloning? Maybe some of you have studied that. So Lord Krishna, he can clone himself in ways where his clones are exactly the same or slightly different. In the case of Balaram, who has a white dress, white bodily complexion and blue dress, or in the form of four-handed Narayan also. So this is the ability of God, difference from us. And there's different forms also. He expands as there's the Svangsha, his personal expansions, and Vibhinansa, us, the separated expansions, the living entities, spiritual sparks, different than the Vishnu Tattva expansions or the Svamsa expansions. So here he's showing that as this pastime of Jamuna Karshana Lila, taking the form of Balaram. And Acharya Shekhar, who's a Dvaita Acharya, and Valimali Acharya saw this. Apparently, not necessarily everybody could understand. Then, after this, Lord Chaitanya gave the order that everybody, all the devotees, should have Sankirtan regularly. They were dancing for 12 hours. Can you imagine this? Dancing at 12 hours ecstatically. We have difficulty dancing for 10 minutes. So these were ecstatically energized individuals being in the association of Lord Chaitanya. So if we also become spiritually enlivened by the devotional service of the Lord and chanting of the holy names, perhaps in the future we'll also be able to dance continuously for 12 hours in the Sankirtan. Have any of you danced for even an hour? I don't see any raising. Nobody's raising their hand.
I danced for an hour.
Really? How was that?
In temple room, Prabhu, we do something.
Yeah.
When you
for an hour? For 2 hours?
No,
5 hours?
no, half an hour.
Half an hour, yeah, and then it's over. So this is 12 hours. So that's quite interesting. We know that Srila Prabhupada was in Australia. And, sorry, not Australia. He was in India, and he was feeling sick, some fever and other things. But he had been invited to participate in the Rath Yatra in London. So against the advice of devotees, he decided he would go to London for the Rath Yatra. And while there, he danced during the festival parade for probably several hours, even though just a short time before he had been sick. This is one of the symptoms of Krishna consciousness. Kevala Ananda Kanda, very joyfully performed, chanting, dancing, and taking prashadam. So who said that they danced for an hour?
Prabhu.
What's
Hare
that?
Krishna. I said Murari Gupta.
Oh, nice, nice. And how was that?
Oh, it's ecstatic. Ecstatic. I used to dance a lot before my cancer treatment for hours on end, but I'm no Bhakta Avatar. Bhakta Avatar Prabhu, I don't know if you know who he is. He's called the Mad Dancer, but Bhakta Avatar dances nonstop for hours and hours and hours. When I was with him in New York, I watched him dance, I think 6 hours straight. And I actually had this like request his leave because he completely wore me out. I mean, it was just really, he's just in this excitement. He's like straight out of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, you know. So I totally desire that again. I'm getting it again, but slowly but surely, you know, by chanting the holy names.
Very nice, yes. And sometimes, even though we might not feel like dancing, just by dancing, because it's pleasing to Krishna, you get that inspiration to continue and go on. It's like Gargamuni Prabhu writes in his book that when he used to come to see Srila Prabhupada at 26 Second Avenue, he said, well, you know, everybody offers you obeisances, but I don't feel like it. What should I do? So you know what Srila Prabhupada's response was?
Do it anyway.
Yes, and then you'll get the feeling, and you'll get the feeling. Then you'll understand. So similarly, sometimes, even though we may not have the feeling of dancing, just by dancing, you'll be able to. And chanting also, that's our process. It's a natural part of our spiritual constitution to chant and dance and offer obeisances and engage in Krishna service that way. So sometimes just by doing it, you'll continue to get the inspiration. Next verse there, let's see. We're talking about this Hare Nama Krishna also. Oh, before that, Lord Chaitanya asked all the devotees to chant Hare Krishna in their homes, right? Ghare ghare. So it doesn't say he was asking them to chant out on the street. So sometimes people say that that's the street Sankirtan hadn't started yet. I'm not sure that's the case because later, Lord Chaitanya, in speaking with Chand Kazi, you'll see that he says, you're the magistrate here, you're the law guy, and you have the power to stop people chanting. But see, in Navadvip, everybody's on every street, they're chanting Hare Krishna. So apparently at some point right around this time, they did go out on the street. So anyway, he's saying here, Ghare Ghare, and you got to think about this a little bit. Sometimes we come together in the temple and we have the Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting. For how long does that go on for? Not long, half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, maybe 2 hours at most. But also the chanting, so is that enough to purify our hearts? Likely not. So Lord Chaitanya said, Kirtaniya Sadahari, that the chanting should go on forever, always, Sadahari. And Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what is the symptoms of the great soul? Mahatmanas tu mam partha daivam prakritimashvita satatam kirtayanto mam. Those elevated souls, they're always chanting about me. So important thing is to not only chant on Sunday, but have kirtan, send kirtan every day in one's house, or as Murari Gupta Prabhu and others are doing, they're doing the Sankirtan in a variety of places, sometimes at, where is it, Rittenhouse Square, and other places. And that's the method for purifying the heart as expressed by Lord Chaitanya in his Shikshastakam. Not just japa, but Sankirtan also. Sankirtan means together with others. Another benefit of chanting regularly in the homes is you get better at chanting. So we say practice chanting. You practice anything, you get better. And we can see that sometimes we can tell that people who have not practiced playing the kartals or playing the drum, or they come and all at once they try to practice at the temple, and it becomes kind of a cacophony of sound. So better practice at home, and when you get good, then come to the temple, and then you can practice, you can do nice kirtan there. Does that make sense? Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Then somehow then there's this Hare Nama Krishna, Gopal Govinda Ram, Hare Nama Krishna. Yadav, sometimes people also say Hare Nama Krishna, Yadavaya Nama, Yadavaya Nama, Madhavaya, Keshavaya Namaha. There's no Keshava in there, but sometimes devotees say that. And then Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. And you know, there's another part of that that goes Giridhari Gopinath Madan Mohan. And I don't know if you know where that comes from. You know where that comes from? Anybody? No.
Is from the songbook? Hari
There's-
Araya Namah.
Yeah, there's the Gopal Govinda Ram, then Giridhari Gopinath Madan Mohan. There's a whole bhajan by Narottam Das Thakur that goes on and on, that starts off with these two lines, but then goes on with many other lines. Alanda Bolo Hari Bhaja Brindavan. So those might be added, but these are the main two lines that are Lord Chaitanya especially appreciated. So sometimes people say, well, we shouldn't chant anything else other than that. But anyway, the Hare Nama Krishna, Jadavaya, we know for sure the Lord Chaitanya like this because he says so here. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says so. And Srila Prabhupada is repeating that.
Yes,
And-
Prabhu, I want to share something.
All
Like,
right, that's
yeah,
nice.
our Guru Maharaj always sing this two line, and we are always thinking like why he is like doing it like that, like Hari Namo Krishna Jadavaya Namo, then Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan, and we are always singing like whatever you said, like Hari Namo Krishna Jadavaya Namo, Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namo. And we are like, okay, I don't know why Guru Maharaj is saying like that. So we are
Now
clear
you know.
today.
Now
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's you're talking about Jai Pataka Maharaj. Yeah. His
Yes,
Holiness Jai Pataka Maharaj. Yeah, so he's following Lord Chaitanya very closely. That's very nice. Yeah, we try to follow as best we can. That's very good. And it said that there was no sound other than the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And it says here that the administrators in Mayapur should make sure that the chanting of the holy names goes on. What does it say? 24 hours a day. Kirtaniya Sadahari. So was that just for Mayapur? Or should it be done in other places too? What do you think? Murari Gupta Prabhu.
I'm sorry, Prabhu. I'm having some technical difficulties here.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. I was just, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
What'd you
So
ask?
the question was the managers of the Mayapur should make sure that Kirtan goes on 24 hours a day there, the chanting of the holy names along with Hare Nama Krishna. What about any other places? Should that happen? Or is that was just exclusively for Mayapur?
I believe he wanted it, obviously in all the, like, for sure. But I mean, my personal opinion, it should be in every town and village, every temple. We should have some kind of chanting going on 24 hours a day.
Okay. So one can make a case that, yeah, sometimes in Vrindavan also there's 24-hour kirtan, right? Especially those places. But it's also good other places. Kirtaniya Sadahari, Satatam Kirtiyantamam. Yeah, so chanting the holy names is the process of spiritual development. So the more chanting, the better everywhere. So, they started a food distribution program in Mayapur very early, where they would make khichdi, and perhaps you've been there when they distribute the khichdi to the people. They would come, thousands and thousands of people would come, and they distribute khichdi. They made a big pavilion there, and so then I was wondering whether is it just for Mayapur that Srila Prabhupada wanted big prasadam distribution? And there's a few letters where Prabhupada encouraged that other temples can also do big prasadam distribution like that too. It's not just because it's done in Mayapur, it can't be done anyplace else. You understand? So the principles are, big, lots of chanting, lots of prasadam distribution, lots of reading of Bhagavad Gita and hearing Caitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam everywhere. So this can also be considered. I mean, that would be an ideal thing if that could be done. And some devotees are doing it regularly. That's good. Questions, comments, additions, corrections? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm wondering why in any there's no 24-hour kirtan in the West at all. Once in a while they do it, but like regular. Why is it? Because it's not practical or something to have 24 hours?
You'll have to answer that one. What do you think?
I don't think we will have enough devotees just to be there like 24 hours. Just we
I have
have
a
it.
hard time getting devotees out for 3 hours, 24 hours,
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
It's a challenge. Eventually, though, eventually it'll happen.
Yes.
Even in Vrindavan and Mayapur, though they have a schedule, but when it goes to 24-hour, we don't see that many participation. 4 or 5 devotees continue the overnight.
Yeah, 4 or 5. It doesn't say you have to have 100 devotees there. It doesn't say.
In those days, devotees used to, the model in West had changed. Devotees used to be residents those days. That is
Yes.
Nowadays, congregation based. That's why it's not very practical, actually.
Oh, it's not practical. Oh,
It's
so you agree with Mother Golokan and the prayer?
can be doable, but unless residents stay here in the temple, good at least good number to cover the. But they also need inspiration. If 3, 4, 5 devotees are just allotted, okay, you do it. So it becomes like monotonous, and they need moral support, participation as well.
Yeah. So the idea of Sankirtan is there's a group effort. Together you're doing things, and not just there's a few people, there's a few priests in the temple that do devotional service, and everybody else just does whatever they feel like doing.
Right.
It's a different consciousness. So, working together. Sankirtan means coming together, full kirtan. Everybody participates as much as possible. And the prime participation is, I should remind, the prime participation is chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, chanting the holy names, and Sri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Sometimes we see people want to participate, so they'll grab the kartals and start banging. Does that ever happen? Yeah. So, but the prime participation is not, kirtan doesn't mean banging kartals. It means chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And when people bang the kartals, then you can't hear the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra because the kartals are too loud. And so then you get a microphone to increase the volume of the Hare Krishna Mantra, and then people bang their kartals louder, and then you lose your hearing after a couple of hours because it becomes a din. So anyway, so Lord Chaitanya is here recommending you practice at home too. You practice chanting Hare Krishna at home, Sankirtan, you get good at it. You come to the temple, you'll do a better job there. So yeah, so then
Yes, Prabhu. They did it for a while.
You're breaking up,
Or
Prabhu.
they went out in the streets, actually, in the houses.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah. I was saying they practiced a while, and the house was very private sanctuary for quite some time. And then they, mercy was overflowing.
Yeah, Lord Chaitanya, for 1 year, he held Sankirtan every night at the house of Srivas Thakur, every night. And he didn't let other people in. Only certain people were allowed. Srivas Thakur, his close associates, were allowed. Other people were kept out. And so there was a brahmachari who wanted to come in. Srivas Thakur got him, snuck him in. And his qualification was he only drank milk. That was his qualification. So Lord Chaitanya, when he was dancing, he thought, something's up here. There's something wrong. There's somebody here who doesn't really understand. So Srivas Thakur had to, spill the beans that he had snuck this guy in. And Lord Chaitanya was unhappy about that. This outsider had come because they were doing this prema sankirtan, really, really, really good sankirtan. So, people just coming and doing whatever. It didn't work. So anyway, that was the start. And then he's staying here. Oh, that was before this, already mentioned. Now, everybody in your homes do the sankirtan. And then Chankazi now, seeing there's this, we'll see it's coming up. I shouldn't get ahead of myself. But good point. Thank you, Murari Gupta Prabhu. Other comments on this?
Hare Krishna.
Oh, is this Shashi Shekhar Prabhu?
Shashi Shekhar Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So can we understand that there's higher and lower levels of devotional service, such as like if we're practicing and there's some like chanting the holy name comes above prasadam distribution or deity worship or something like that? Like if we don't have the facilities to perform all of it within the movement, should we understand that one is more important than the other? Because like what I find is certain devotees in the movement have a certain propensity towards, let's say, book distribution or harinam or deity worship, and they express that this is, the most important thing, picking out certain aspects of what Srila Prabhupada might have said. So is one aspect of devotional service more important than the other, or is it all equal?
You're guessing, you're trying to ask me to support one particular kind of aspect of devotional service. In Atlanta in 1975, Srila Prabhupada visited there, and all these devotees from all over the country came, especially the Radha Damodar devotees were there, who were doing big book distribution. And they asked him during one class, what will please you most, Srila Prabhupada? What service will please you most? So what did Srila Prabhupada answer? Because they were probably 80% in the crowd were in devotees there were distributing books there, and they had done so. Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Vishnujan Maharaj had encouraged them to do mostly book distribution. So what was Prabhupada's answer?
Love Krishna.
Love Krishna, yeah.
Love Krishna.
Yes, he said, he'll be pleased. He'll be very pleased if you love Krishna. So all the kinds of devotional service are transcendental. And on one side, we shouldn't think, cleaning the temple is low and book distribution is better, in one sense. And then, but at the same time, there's Bhagavat Marg and Pancharatriki Marg, two sides. The Bhagavat Marg and the Pancharatriki, and Prabhupada called them two rails on a like a railroad has two rails for the engine. Bhagavat Marg is preaching, and Pancharitriki Marg is the temple worship. Both are required. But of the two, Bhagavat Marg is more important. And Bhagavat Marg includes lots of stuff. One thing is chanting Harinam, one thing is book distribution, one thing is Prasadam distribution, one thing is Caitanya Charitamrita class, one thing is Srimad Bhagavatam class, one thing is home programs, one thing, all those, that's all included in the Bhagavat mark. They're both important. And just because one thing is important doesn't mean another one is not important.
Mm.
So what can happen is that if we think, oh, this one's more important, we'll give more facility to those people who are doing this service. And then an elitist mentality sometimes can develop. And then it leads to misunderstanding, and false ego becomes stronger. And that's the danger. So it used to be in New York, even though we had a whole team of very illustrious book distributors, every week they would come and wash pots after the Sunday feast. Because, anyway, very interesting. Not to help reduce the, it's not that they could be, oh, we have to be out distributing books. No, they would do that. So I don't know if that answers any question, but.
Yes, thank you. It's thank you. I wasn't trying to get you to, to position you in a place to say a certain thing is better than the other. I'm legitimately trying to understand, because I hear it from different sides. So, well, this is, Srila Prabhupada wanted this, or we have to focus on this. Or, no, we have to focus on that.
Yes.
But that, and it's like, well, I mean, Srila Prabhupada said so many things.
He wanted all of those things. Just because one thing is emphasized doesn't mean that the other thing should not be emphasized.
Mm-hmm.
All those things he wanted. Like here, this he's saying 24 hours a day chant this. Yeah. He wanted many things. So
in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and one of the purports, it says we strive to be in a competition-less society. And it's important to understand that, and everybody has complete and individual nature, and everything is, all for the one cause, teaching people how to love God, and in turn, getting to that point of loving God ourselves as well. So I feel like all the bits and pieces, like everything that I do, like cleaning the temple, one of my favorite services was cleaning the bathrooms ever since I came. And it's because nobody else.
Bathrooms are cleaner now?
I'm cleaning the temple right now.
Okay.
I do the prasadam, my wife.
Thank you.
For working on that. But
thank you.
I'm not, somebody else has that service.
Okay. I was joking with you.
I feel that,
It's breaking up.
When we do these services, to me, it's like practicing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like practicing melodies, to me. I think these things.
Prabhu, you're breaking up. We can't hear you that well. I'm sorry. At least I can't. I don't know others. The last probably 20 seconds we couldn't hear really properly. Sorry. It was I appreciate your input, but for some reason it's all broken up. Okay. So shall we go on a little?
শুনিয়া যে ক্রুদ্ধ হইল সকল জবন, কাজী পাশে আসি সবে কইল নিবেদন।
Hearing the resounding vibration of the Hare Krishna mantra, the local Muslims, greatly angry, submitted a complaint to the Qazi. Purport. The Pajodhara. How do you say that? Mother Mukti Datri.
Fozdar.
That's what you say? Okay.
Yeah, Fozdar is. I have the Bengali book. So.
Okay. Or city magistrate. Go ahead.
No problem, that's fine.
Okay. Was called the Qazi. The zamindars or landholders, mandaleras, levied taxes on the land, but keeping law and order and punishing criminals was the duty entrusted to the Qazi. Both the Qazi and the landholders were under the control of the governor of Bengal, which at that time was known as Shuba Bangala. The districts of Nadia, Islampur, and Bagoyan were all under the Jamandar named Harihora, or his descendant known as Hora Krishnadas. It is said that Chand Qazi was the spiritual master of Nawab Hussain Shah. According to one opinion, his name was Maulana Shirajuddin. Maulana. And according to another, his name was Habibara Rahman. Descendants of Chand Qazi are still living in the vicinity of Mayapur. People still go to see the tomb of Chand Qazi, which is underneath a champak tree and is known as Chand Qazi's Samadhi. So they heard this chanting. So if it's not out in the street yet, they're still in their houses. They're hearing it from the houses and they're getting unhappy. Something like in Rittenhouse Square. People are hearing the chanting and they're becoming unhappy. So they gave their complaints to the Qazi here in this case. So an interesting point, which I still ponder and I don't know the answer to, is that Qazi was in charge of keeping law and order. So how is it that Jagai Madhai were rampaging throughout Navadvip if Chand Qazi was in charge of law and order? And see, even just a little bit of chanting, he became he acted forcibly. So I don't know the answer to that question. I've heard several speculations, but I don't know. If anybody knows, let me know. Follow? Does I understand that question?
Even if law and order is there,
What's that?
even if law and order is there, doesn't mean that miscreants are not there.
Yeah, but they're punished. Everybody knew about Jagai Madhai
Yeah.
and the whole, they who is this person? Lord Caitanya said, and they said, oh, this guy, this is Jagai Madhai. They're, everybody knows they're harassing. They're incredible. So there was one associate of Bhaktivinoda Thakur who was actually more politically connected, and he wrote some play about Lord Chaitanya that Amala Bhakta Maharaj cites, but he's not necessarily an authorized source. But he says that Jagai Madhai were in with the police force. So they were like a dirty cop is sometimes harder to catch than but that's not an authorized source. Others say, oh, this was in the Hindu area, and the Hindu area, they didn't care so much about what was going on there, just like in certain parts of the city, in Puerto Rico, they have things called barrios, where, poor people live and policemen don't go there. They just, whatever happens, it's so kind of chaotic there that they don't really care. Or in the slum areas of different cities, the police, they go there just to, they just cause problems, so they stay away. So people say different things, but I don't know the bona fide answer to that. Chand Qazi. Okay. Text 125.
I wanted to see.
Oh, good.
Yeah. No, the different subject on Qazis. So he was Qazi, is magistrate. At the same time, he was spiritual master of Nawab Hussain Shah, was the king. So I think that's why he was very influential. Both the role he was playing, that Qazi and the spiritual master. So that's
then you could ask, well, if he was a spiritual master of Nawab Hussain Shah, was Nawab Hussain Shah a good disciple?
You mean good disciple, depending on teacher. If teacher is good, then disciple will be good.
Well, Chand Qazi, we'll see very, very shortly, Chand Qazi became enlightened by Lord Chaitanya.
Yeah.
Nawab Hussain Shah later put Sanatan Goswami in jail.
Yes.
So
So
apparently he wasn't a very good disciple.
hmm,
Do you follow? Does
yeah,
that make sense?
yeah.
But anyway, sometimes the spiritual gurus, we have to avoid taking a guru as just somebody, that's my spiritual master, we do whatever we please. But actually to follow the order of the spiritual master is really the essence of spiritual life. Yasya deve para bhakti yata deve tata guru tasyaiti katita hyarta prakashante mahatmana. By actually not just a formality where there's a formal spiritual master, okay, but actually to seek out and understand the orders and try to follow them.
We see that with Ramachandra Puri later on, the godbrother of Ishvara Puri, Madhavendra Puri's disciple. You see the parallel between the two. You see, obviously, the spiritual master of Lord Caitanya, and then you see Ramachandra Puri, who became a dry Mayavadi speculator because of his propensity to criticize. And so you see one following, and obviously the fruit of that tree being Lord Chaitanya, and then you see the other one that would fall down.
Yes, very good. Thank you. For some reason, you were very clear. Wasn't broken up, even though the icon says that you've muted. Oh, you're doing it on a different level. Okay, good. Yeah, Ramchandra Puri is a good example. Thank you. Yeah. He criticized his spiritual master Madhavendra Puri on leaving when he was about to leave his body, because Madhavendra Puri was saying, how will I achieve? How will I achieve Mathura? I will not achieve. How will I achieve the lotus feet of Krishna? I'm not enough. And he said, "What? Don't lament. Don't lament. The lamenting is for materialists." So he criticized his own spiritual master, and as a result, you say he became Mayavadi. So here we have Nawab Hussain Shah. Chand Kazi was the spiritual master already. Yeah. Thank you. Text 125.
ক্রুদে সন্ধ্যাকালে কাজী এক ঘরে আইল, মৃদঙ্গ ভাঙিয়া লোকে কহিতে লাগিল।
Chand Kazi angrily came to one home in the evening, and when he saw kirtan going on, he broke a mridanga and spoke as follows. So when, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
এতকাল কেহ নাহি কইল হিন্দু আনি, এবে যে উদ্যম চালাও কারো বলো জানি।
For so long, you did not follow the regulative principles of the Hindu religion, but now you are following them with great enthusiasm. May I know by whose strength you are doing so? Purport. It appears that from the aggression of Bhaktigyar Kiliji in Bengal until the time of Chand Kazi, Hindus, or the followers of the Vedic principles, were greatly suppressed. Like the Hindus in present-day Pakistan, practically no one could execute the Hindu religious principles freely. Chand Kazi referred to this condition of Hindu society. Formerly, the Hindus had not been straightforward in executing their Hindu principles, but now they were freely chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Therefore, it must have been by the strength of someone else that they were so daring. Actually, that was the fact. Although the members of the so-called Hindu society had followed the social customs and formulas, they had practically forgotten to execute their religious principles strictly. But with the presence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they actually began following the regulative principles according to his order. That order is still existing. And anywhere and everywhere in all parts of the world, one can execute it. That order is to become a spiritual master under the direction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by following the regulative principles, chanting daily at least 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna mantra, and preaching the cult of Krishna consciousness all over the world. If we adhere to the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we shall get spiritual strength without a doubt, and we shall be free to preach this cult of the Hare Krishna movement and not be hampered by anyone. So even though there'll be some temporary hampering, we'll see in this pastime, ultimately it was not hampered at all, but the Sankirtan spread throughout Navadvip very strongly subsequent to this incident and episode. So prior to this, the Hindus were just, they may have done some social practices, and they might have had some temple in their homes doing some slight worship, but they were afraid to do this in public. Why? Because retaliation by the Muslim government. So, but Lord Chaitanya, his inspiration, allowed them to have the strength and courage to chant Hare Krishna mantra out loud publicly. And by doing so, that gave them spiritual strength, and also allowed others to also participate and spread Krishna consciousness very strongly there in Navadvip and all over the world nowadays. We see this also happen in India as well. Back in the early days of the Hare Krishna movement, when we went to India the first time in 1975, I did, that mostly the Indian population were making fun of the Hare Krishna movement. They were insulting devotees, Dhammarudam, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, things like that. Yeah. But over time, gradually, people came to understand that this is not just a fly-by-night organization, but Srila Prabhupada, the Acharyas, and even the Hare Krishna devotees themselves are sincere proponents of Bhagavad Dharma, the real essence of Vedic civilization. And so many people are now taking it up because it's being done publicly. Preaching is going out, not just in one or two homes, but all over. So it's all over the world this is going on. Krishna Kirtan, comments? No? Does anybody know Bhakti Yar Kiliji? Did you learn that in history in India? I have no idea who that is. Nobody? Okay.
I have a comment though.
Thank you.
Yeah. It is true. This is a very interesting statement, Tajis. It's very, we need to contemplate very deeply how the Vedic culture was suppressed and out of fear. And due course of time, the fear and agitation in the heart. So that's why many times we see in Indian community, they are not very open up to participate in Sankirtan. They feel agitation, and we are not feeling ourselves not feeling comfortable because to present outside, because we think that it's inferior culture. So that fear, but now we see that by mercy of Srila Prabhupada's movement, it happened in Bengal, but now it's happening all over the world. When we begin, there are a lot of agitation. Sometimes suppression also is there. But as we continue chanting with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we get a lot of encouragement, fearlessness, boldly we like to preach it. So there's a change in our thought also comes thinking that we have Lord Krishna's blessings, Srila Prabhupada's blessings are there. Unless that is there, it's not easy to go out and spread the Sankirtan, especially Harinam. There's inner impurities, anarthas, and at the same, that is causing us not to participate boldly in Sankirtan. That's some of the things, my observation. Makes
Well
sense?
said. Well said. And you might want to make a little plug here, Krishna Kirtan? Don't you have some kind of Sankirtan planned, a big Sankirtan planned sometime near the end of the month?
Oh, yeah. Please come.
You have to you have to explain what that is. I don't know what it is.
This is part of the preaching again to spread the holy name. The thousands of people, 25 to 30,000 Americans, they'll be sitting both sides watching. So we'll be taking our Jagannath as part of the Halloween parade. It's a great joy for people. They like it. And
Where is it? Where is it?
In Newark Main Street.
And when is it?
It's October 29th. It starts, we request everyone to come by 1 o'clock.
That's a Sunday, though. That's a Sunday, correct?
Sunday. So the event will be over by 5 o'clock. Though Rath Yatra gets over, but then after that we get opportunity to share with all these people with holy name and books. So more and better because thousands of people, we are small number. And this is a great opportunity to experience also. Thank you for allowing me to speak here.
You bet.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we're just started with the Chandkazi pastime. It's a very wonderful pastime. So we'll take this up again next time. I see it's 8:50 already. I appreciate all your attention and comments and input. Very, very appreciative of that. This very important instructions given here about the Sankirtan movement in this Caitanya Caritamrita. Thank you all. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyev chapatitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much.
Krishna.
Krishna.